Well, from screen time to spending time with your head buried in the books. The South African Book Fair is one of those events that book lovers look forward to and just can't miss each year. It took place last week at Constitution Hill in Johannesburg, and this year's edition had a special focus on African literature to coincide with Heritage Month. Solo went to check out all those things that, of course, brings you all the action.
This year's edition of the South African Book Fair features a diverse spread of emerging voices joined by more established talent. The three-day event promises a variety of things to do, from preschoolers to the dedicated book lover. And of course, we're here to bring you all the action, starting off with our very first session titled Find Your SA Art Heroes. Let's go find out what it's all about. Quibi, you are leading a session here today called Find Your SA Art Heroes here at Book Fair. What is it all about?
Well, it's a fantastic opportunity to show the kids the book that has just come out called Explore Awesome South African Artists. And what the book fair does is bring a whole audience of school kids that would probably never see the book and not get exposed to art as often as us in the city here, to really speak to them about how you make art, who are our big art heroes, and also the illustration aspect of it. Illustration is kind of raw. It's something that you can do at home with a pen in your notebook, and I think a lot of illustrators start like that. You don't have to end up a big, painter tomorrow. You can start small, and it's also commercial, so you can do jobs while you are becoming an artist.
Illustration is an important way to tell stories and get the message across about how really dynamic stories around artists and the everyday in interesting and colorful way. Often children and adults around us believe that you can't have a thriving career as an artist, and this proves that you can.
Talk to us about some of the artists you highlighted during your talk, and why did you choose them specifically?
Well, all the artists in the book are renowned South African artists. They have an international reputation, and they tell our stories on an international stage. But the ones that I chose specifically, Lady Scully, she's a South African artist based here in Johannesburg. She's passionate about children's issues. What is it like to be a child in South Africa today? And how did she go through a journey of becoming who she is, Lady Scully, today?
The SA Book Fair turns a decade this year, and it's really not surprising to see why, as it's grown and evolved so much over the years. This year, it offers an extensive program, including some of SA's literary giants. Mama, it's so evident that you are so passionate about what you do. Talk to us a little bit about this session that we've just viewed here today.
Today, I've had a lovely time with the older ones upstairs, and then I came down and I got all the VIPs sitting here. As soon as I walk in and the VIPs, my heart starts rejoicing. And I wanted us to sing with the VIPs. I wanted to do something with the rhythms and claps. And also I wanted to tell a story that they can relate to. And so they are so attentive, they are so curious. And that's a beautiful age. That's where I started, when I would hear stories from my grandmother. And it gives me so much joy every single time when I tell stories to the very little ones. When I tell stories, I visualize the things I'm talking about, or the people, or the characters, or the places. I see them, and I hope I can transfer all of that into the minds and the hearts and the imagination of the listeners.
Elinka, South African Book Fair is celebrating 10 years this year. It's been going on for quite some time. Take us back to where and how it all started.
Well, it started off as the Cape Town Book Fair, and it was under the auspices of the Publishers Association of South Africa. And the idea was really to have the biggest book fair in Africa. It moved to Johannesburg, and it's now under the auspices of the South African Book Development Council. So this year we're very proud to host it here at Constitution Hill.
And tell us, what can people expect from this year's edition?
This year's edition is amazing. It is so diverse. It is for all walks of life, and so many new authors. A very diverse program that we're very proud of.
Ethnic Kids is about, it's a bookstore, an online bookstore for children, mainly catering for kids aged 0 to 11 and featuring books that have characters of color in all South African languages. It's important for kids of color to see themselves in the books that they read. We find that they identify better with the books, they resonate with the stories, and they know that their stories matter. So it's very important for your psychology and also just for how you feel about yourself, for affirmation, to be affirmed in the material that you're interacting with. What we love about SA Book Fair is it's one of the most inclusive and diverse book fairs that we have in South Africa, and that's literally all that we're about at Ethnic Kids. We are all about inclusivity, we are all about diversity, so we feel very aligned to their mission. And of course, we're celebrating local authors, local publishers, our stories, which is what our business is all about.
We do still want to turn this into the biggest fair on the continent. I think everyone out there should come to the book fair. We've got everything here for children, for everyone in your family.
I must say the SA Book Fair went all out in celebrating their 10th year anniversary. And one thing I'm particularly impressed by is the number of authors, African authors, that have been featured in this year's edition. Definitely a fitting way to celebrate Heritage Month.